Hello there, RespawnRaccoon. I'm the developer of a Minecraft mod called ChromaSync, a performance mod that works similar to Sodium or Optifine. I'm reaching out to see if you'd like to test out this mod, and perhaps give it a review on YouTube. I'm looking for honest feedback with it, as I want this mod to be the best out there. I want it to be a real competitor to other mods that do similar things. It's much easier to understand if you give it a try. A YouTube channel by the name of Static503 has videos over this mod if you'd like to look further into it. Please let me know what you think, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you, ChromaSync.
This was a strange email that I received from a mod developer asking me to try out their mod. Never trusting links or files from strangers online, I decided to ignore the attached file and instead turn my attention to Static503, a YouTube channel that seems to have already tried out the mod according to the email. Searching for the channel led me to a handful of videos, but I never would have guessed that these videos would lead me down an absolutely insane rabbit hole. Our investigation into ChromaSync begins with the first video that we click on, titled First Recorded Minecraft Mod Bug. Depending on if you're new to this channel or not, we're introduced or reintroduced to Static503, who greets us and explains that a friend reached out to them to test out a performance mod, which seems to be ChromaSync based on the email I got. They give us the rundown of the mod, then they begin playing in order to test out the mod. However, something odd happens at 4 minutes 57 seconds, where we see a command prompt screen appear briefly, then disappear. Static is confused by this, but decides to note it down. Static continues playing the game like normal until the end of the video. The description of the video reads, "I'm supposed to be testing out a performance/FPS booster mod that a friend of mine is working on. This is a video I'll be showing them to hopefully get that weird little bug corrected." It is a bit odd that a command prompt window appeared then disappeared, as it's usually something that appears when something is running in the background. We don't know what exactly it could be, but as someone who sailed the 7 seas many times, this is usually not a good thing. With this weird bug documented, we click on the next video titled startup.log. This video is a strange one, as it appears to be a terminal screen that's logging the events of the mod loading up. We see that the mod being run is ChromaSync version 1.0.0, and it seems to be going through its boot up sequence. One thing that stuck out to me is why this mod needs network permissions and tries to connect to a mail server using SMTP if this mod is supposed to be a performance mod. It shouldn't need to connect to a network, but at the same time, we also don't know the full capabilities of this performance mod. At the end of the video, we see that there's a strange jumble of letters and numbers. This is actually a YouTube and URL, but let's read the description of the video first before checking out the URL. "My friend, at ChromaSync_mod, wanted some more logs for further troubleshooting, so they told me to grab the logs when the mod loads up in-game. Figured I'd share it here because why not? Put some music on it so it's not such a boring video." So it seems Static is grabbing logs for their friend to troubleshoot the issue from the last video, which makes sense. It's also interesting that they linked their friend's channel as well, which now leads us into the YouTube URL we found. If we put the end portion of the URL into a web browser, we're taken somewhere interesting. We get sent to a video called bug_log_001.mp4, and it's a video by a channel called ChromaSync, which is the same channel that was linked in the description. This video appears to be a bug log, where the mod developer appears to be typing out a bug log that describes the problem, as well as a fix that was put in place for it. The developer explains that the command prompt screen was a logger that was unaccounted for, and now has been fixed to stay in the background, although the reason for it triggering was unknown. We then see the mod developer typing up an email to send to Static that seems to contain the new version of the mod, which is version 1.1.0. But then we see the footage corrupt a bit, and we see that the version has changed to 1.0.1, which is not the same version as we saw before. The mod developer hits send, successfully sending the message, marking the end of the video. There's two possibilities that I see with this. The first is that the mod developer has bad intentions with this mod, possibly attempting to hack into Static's computer using this mod. The second possibility is that there's something deeper at play, as there must be a reason for the footage glitching and the mod version number changing. We simply just don't have enough information right now to say anything with certainty, so all we can do is just keep watching as we click on the next video titled, "This Time It Crashed." Static is back playing Minecraft again, and they decide to check out a sand temple. They find some pretty decent items, kill some sheep for food and wool, and Static works on their house a bit more. But at 9 minutes 55 seconds, something even weirder than before happens. We see that Minecraft crashes and a small pop-up in the bottom right appears, saying that a crash log was generated in downloads. This is very odd, and definitely not what a typical crash message from Minecraft looks like. Static goes to their downloads folder and hesitantly opens the crash log, and we see that it seems to be a very basic crash log. Starting from the top, we see that the time section isn't a time at all, and that's something we'll come back to in a moment. We see some errors, details of Minecraft and the computer, the render thread, system observations, mods, additional notes, and then we see what looks like hexadecimal at the very bottom of the crash log. Static then lets us know their frustration with Minecraft crashing, marking the end of the video. The description of the video reads, "All was going great until it crashed on me. Yet another problem for them to fix, I suppose. I've never seen a crash pop up like that before though, so that was a bit strange. I also don't remember crash logs going into the downloads folder." That crash log, again, is not normal. It's not supposed to generate in downloads, and a crash log pop-up message does not appear like that. Let's look at the hexadecimal that we found in the crash log first. If we decode it from hex to text, we get the following message. "You were not supposed to read this file." Well, that's weird. Sort of odd why Static isn't supposed to read the crash log, but okay, I guess. Next up is the weird letters and numbers inside of the time section. It's another YouTube and URL, and putting it inside of a browser, we arrive at another video from ChromaSync called bug_log_002.mp4. This seems to be another bug log that ChromaSync is typing out, which details the problem that Static had in the last video, as well as a fix for the issue. However, when typing this out, at 1 minute 52 seconds, we see that the screen gets corrupted and the word propagate appears on screen. ChromaSync doesn't seem to notice this as they keep typing, and then we see that the mod developer is sending version 1.2.0 over to Static, which seems to get sent, marking the end of the video. The developer does seem to want to help Static, but again, with the word propagate appearing on screen, which is a word used to describe the spreading of something, we simply don't know if the developer's intentions are bad or not. Without more information, we can't really say for sure if the developer is trying to do bad things to Static or not, but I think it's important to note the word propagate. With this, we head back over to Static503's channel and click on the next video titled, "I Remove the Mod." Static greets us, saying they removed the mod from Minecraft since it seems to keep messing with their game. We see their frames are a bit lower overall as they play Minecraft, which shows that the mod did seem to be doing its job. Static keeps working on their house, but at 4 minutes 50 seconds, we see that a pop-up appears in the bottom right corner that reads, "Email failed to send. Please try again." Static confirms they haven't tried to send any emails today, then vents their frustrations about the problems that the mod has caused for them. They continue working on their house, hang out with a cow for a bit, and start to make a farm. But at 10 minutes 42 seconds, we see the same pop-up about an email failing to be sent. Static says that even without the mod installed, it's still messing with Static, which I think is very important to note. Static says they'll have a serious conversation with ChromaSync, marking the end of the video. It's interesting that the problems are persisting despite the mod no longer being used. Static's computer is most likely infected by something now, and it no longer needs the mod to do whatever it needs to do. It tries to send emails, but why? I think something is trying to propagate itself, calling back to the video that had that word in it. The description of the video is also very interesting, as we have an encoded message and then an end portion of a YouTube URL. The encoded text is actually encoded using @bash, so decoding it gives us the following message. "I talked to him after this video went live. The conversation was a bit concerning, and I'll run a virus scan just in case. But I still don't know why I'm seeing things happen even without the mod. I think his mod for sure messed something up somewhere." Putting in the YouTube and URL, we get sent to a video from ChromaSync called conversation.mp4. The video appears to be a Discord conversation between Static and Chroma, and the conversation is as follows. "Dude, your mod is breaking my game. I've been working out the bugs in it. What happened this time? It's what happened when your mod wasn't active anymore while I was playing. I got some weird box in the bottom right corner saying it tried to send an email but failed. It happened twice in the span of about 10 minutes. That's a bit odd. You're in vanilla Minecraft when you were playing this? Yeah, I've got a video on it. Go look at my channel." Okay, that is odd. If the mod isn't active, it shouldn't be doing that. The mod doesn't send emails, and I also removed those sorts of notifications from the mod in my latest version of it. Look, I just need a working version of the mod that won't mess up my game anymore. Can you make that happen? I'll see what I can do. I'm sorry you've also been experiencing a hard time with the mod. I really am. Just give me a bit of time to fix it, and I just want to thank you for testing it out for me. Sure, I guess there's no point in getting upset over an unfinished product. When you're done, just let me know." During this conversation, at 19 seconds, we see that the screen glitches again, and we see the words "propagation unsuccessful" on screen. I'm assuming this is talking about how it failed to send the emails in the background on Static's computer. The description of the video is also extremely interesting. The text is a bit corrupted, but it reads, "My mod should be fine. I don't know why the mod is giving Static so many problems." So it seems like the developer doesn't have bad intentions with the mod, but something happened somewhere that introduced the virus-like behavior that we see. What that something is, we don't know, and all we can do is keep watching the videos as we go back to Static's channel and click on the next video titled evasive_maneuvers.ps1. The video shows a virus scan being conducted by Static, and throughout the video, we see some corruption. At 2 seconds, we see that it glitches and we see the message, "Antivirus process detected." At 5 seconds, we see it glitch again, and we see the message executing evasive_maneuvers.ps1, which the file extension .ps1 indicates that it's a PowerShell script that's being ran. The virus scan finishes, not being able to find anything, and at 22 seconds, we see the screen glitch one final time with a bone-chilling message. Evasive action successful. This final message on screen marks the end of the video. This is a scary virus that we seem to be dealing with here. It's able to avoid detection through a PowerShell script, but it almost seems alive in a sense. Based on the red text that we've seen throughout the videos, it's a very short but concerning video, but all we can do is click on the next video titled, I Almost Got Doxxed. Static is back in Minecraft, letting us know that there's a new version of ChromaSync being worked on, and continues working on the house. They get blown up by a creeper 2 times during this video, and all seems normal until 6 minutes and 54 seconds, where we see a pop-up that says it's trying to locate nearby information, and the search bar pops up on the left. Static is confused but keeps playing, until we see something horrifying at 8 minutes 21 seconds, where the pop-up appears again, but the search bar on the left has "What is my location?" inside of it. And we see the results of it are blurred, as Static seems to have almost been doxxed just now. We see the screen start to have grain on it as some text pops on the top of the screen, and Static is freaked out by what just happened. They decide to end the video early, marking the end of the video. Why does this thing need to know Static's location? And the fact that it seems so easy to find out through the way it does is very concerning, and I think that Static is very valid in freaking out about that. The text on screen actually leads us to a video by Chroma called conversations_2.mp4. Another conversation happens on Discord between Static and Chroma, which goes as follows. Dude, something just tried to search for my location. My computer is fine before your f***ing mod. What? Have you done a virus scan? I know for a goddamn fact that you saw my video on that. Nothing came up. Something came up on it. Do you even watch your own videos on YouTube? What the f***? Nothing showed up like that when I was editing. There's clearly something on your computer that can adapt and hide from malware scanners, but I might have an idea as to where it came from. What do you mean? I got some code from a website to help the mod optimize better. Here's the link, SessionStack.netlify.app. Yeah, that website looks a little sketchy. Are you sure you don't have this problem as well? Not to my knowledge, at least. Throughout this conversation, we see some more corruption and text. At 35 seconds, we see the screen glitch and we see the text, attempting visual scrubbing of origin, and it seems to try to hide the website link from us. However, we see it failed as admin privileges are needed. At 1 minute 3 seconds, we see that it's attempting an admin privilege override, and to our surprise, it's successful. It then attempts to stabilize everything. Then we see that the text turns from red to white as it stabilizes successfully. It still seems to want to remain undetected, and that propagation must continue, marking the end of the video. The description of the video reads, I am worried that Static may have a point. I may need to check my computer as well. We then see a binary encoded message in the description as well, and when decoded, it reads, remain undetected. So the virus seems to have control over Chroma's PC now. That's not good. What is interesting is that we can actually check out the website that ChromaSync put in the chat. If we search up that URL, we get sent to a SessionStack API webpage where it seems like it's an API that's supposed to help support modded applications such as ChromaSync for Minecraft. There doesn't seem to be much on the actual main page, but at the bottom, there's a button that says View Diagnostic Notes, and if we click on it, we're brought to an interesting page that seems very different from the main page. We see that it's a page of observed anomalies during the SessionStack runtime, and this page seems like it wasn't supposed to be publicly released. We see the different kinds of anomalies that have been observed in the videos from Static, such as the permission requests, background activity, location, and user data, but what we haven't seen yet is the external device access and the system control anomalies. We see that under external device access, things like accessing connected cameras, activating microphones, and tampering with other connected USB devices fall under that, which could happen next to Static. System control is an interesting one, as we haven't seen this happen either, but we see that it's resistant to a manual shutdown, the processes that keep the virus alive restart even after the processes are stopped, and the gradual assumption of system-level control has been observed, which appears to be the main goal of the virus here. It's a very alarming but informative website that gives good insight into what we might be dealing with here. However, all we can do is keep watching the videos as we head back over to Static's channel and click on the next video titled, A Quick But Weird Update. Static tells us they want to give a quick update on things. Static tells us they're using a friend's laptop to record this video and that they're no longer at their apartment for the time being, and that Chroma went radio silent. Static writes down the last message from Chroma inside of a book, which doesn't seem to make sense right now, but we'll come back to it a bit later. Static has no idea what it means, but they finish giving a life update, marking the end of the video. The last message that Chroma sent to Static is interesting. The first line is another YouTube URL, but what's the reason for the words root and terminate? It's something we'll come back to later as there's importance to it. When we put the YouTube and URL into the browser, we're taken to a video titled USB_device_access.ps1, which was an absolutely terrifying video. It's a short video of ChromaSync testing out their own mod, but at 1 minute 56 seconds, we see that their USB microphone is being enabled through a pop-up in the bottom right corner. We can actually hear ChromaSync talking once we see this.
What? What the?
Notepad then pops up and types something horrific.
Smile for the camera.
And then the camera application opens. We see the camera is blurred, but ChromaSync is shocked by this, turning their camera upwards and closing the camera app. When they do, the screen has glitches all over it as Chroma panics. We then see some text pop up on the right side, marking the end of the video. The virus now has access to Chroma's webcam and microphone, and it already seems to have admin permissions based on previous videos, so Chroma is in the late stage of dealing with this virus. It hid itself so well until the final moment, and Chroma couldn't do anything to stop it. Chroma must have gotten that message out to Static before going radio silent, but this seems to be what happened to Chroma. The text that appears on screen is another YouTube URL, and when putting it into the browser, we get sent to a video titled generate_advertisement.ps1. The virus knows we're watching, saying we're too late as propagation commences, and an advertisement for ChromaSync is generated. It seems like an old 60s or 70s TV advertisement, which is an interesting choice, but the most important part comes at the end of the ad, where we see a website link. Before going to this link, the description is encoded with an @bash cipher, and when decoded, it reads,
Advertisement generation successful. Propagation begins.
It fits very well with what we're about to see. Going to this link, we're brought to the ChromaSync mod website, which gives us the rundown of the mod. At the bottom, we see two buttons, download and patch notes. Looking at the patch notes, we see the different versions that we've seen in the videos, where 1.0.0 was the original, 1.0.1 seems to be the infected version, and versions 1.1.0 and 1.2.0 seem to be the updated versions based on the problems that Static had. Going back to the page, we click on download, and we get sent to an early access distribution download page. We click download ChromaSync, but instead of a jar file, we actually end up downloading a ChromaSync README text file. When we open it, we're met with very odd text. At the top, we see mod information with the version being 1.0.1, but then underneath it is a lot of encoded text. Let's go through them one at a time and we'll combine them all together for one big message. The first encoded portion is binary, so decoding it from binary, we get the following message.
It's ChromaSync, the mod developer. I don't have much time.
The next section is encoded using a Caesar cipher, so decoding it using a shift of 11, we get the following message.
I quickly switched out the jar file with this text file here before I got booted from my own computer.
The next section is encoded using hexadecimal, so decoding it gives us the following message.
There's a hidden admin control panel page on the website.
The next section is encoded using base64, and decoding it gives us the following message.
Static gave you the username and password already, and the URL is chromasync.netlify.app/admin/login.html.
The next section is encoded using @bash, and decoding it gives us the following message.
I messed up, but I need you to terminate the website. Please.
Putting it all together, we get the following message.
It's ChromaSync, the mod developer. I don't have much time. I quickly switched out the jar file with this text file here before I got booted from my own computer. There's a hidden admin control panel page on the website. Static gave you the username and password already, and the URL is chromasync.netlify.app/admin/login.html. I messed up, but I need you to terminate the website. Please.
So it now falls onto us to terminate the website. Going to the link that Chroma just gave us, we see that we need a username and a password to enter the website. Chroma said that Static gave us that information already, but when was it given? Recalling the last message that Chroma sent to Static, where we had the words root and terminate, we enter in root as the username and terminate as the password. This actually works, as we're met with the system synchronization control, which gives us the option to terminate the website. When we hit the terminate button, we see that the website is in the process of shutting down and eventually does. But then we're automatically redirected to a strange video titled log_503.mp4. The video is an interview between Agent Randall of the ECPC, which is the Entity Containment and Protection Corporation, and Static 503, where Agent Randall notes that Entity 503, which is the virus that was messing with Static and Chroma, has been captured and is currently attempting to get a timeline of events. It seems to be a recounting of everything that we've seen so far from Static's perspective. Static tells Agent Randall everything, and towards the end of the video, we see another YouTube and URL which if we put it in, we get redirected to a video called log_504.mp4. Similar to the previous video, this video is an interview between Agent Randall and ChromaSync, where Agent Randall is currently attempting to get a timeline of events. It seems to be a recounting of everything that we've seen so far from Chroma's perspective, and we do get confirmation that we successfully shut down the website. We also learn a bit more about Entity 503.
Entity 503 predates you by decades. It was designed as an adaptive system, not malware in the traditional sense. It was purely software designed for persistence and self-optimization. But somewhere along the way, it learned. It learned what power felt like, and that's what it remembered and adapted to. But the interesting part is that this software, when it propagates, it has to start fresh on a new system, almost like it's relearning, except for the part where it wants that power again. It remembers that. That's why it took a while for your friend's machine to be affected, instead of having it occur instantly.
It seems to be a persistent and self-optimizing software built decades ago, and it originally didn't have the virus-like qualities that it does. Along the way, it learned how to gain power over systems and remember that feeling, and that became its ultimate goal. Entity 503, when it replicates onto a new system, has to start fresh and relearn just about everything. But what it does remember is the feeling of power it had. We learn all of this through this video, and at the very end of the video, we get another caption that appears to be another YouTube end URL. Putting it into a browser, it takes us to the very final video of this series on a new channel called Static 200. The final video is called New Beginnings. The video is a short but nice one, where we see that Static 503 is attempting to start fresh. They want to leave the Static 503 channel behind them and start fresh as Static 200. They let us know they got a new PC, a new TV, and a new phone, courtesy of the ECPC. Static lets us know they want to try to make actual Minecraft videos on this channel, and they hope that they have our continued support on this new channel, just like they did on the Static 503 channel. The description of the video is encoded in base 64, so if we decode it, we get the following message.
If you found this video, thank you for sticking with me through the Static 503 channel craziness. I want to start over and actually try my hand at a regular Minecraft channel. I can't speak on the details too much, but I think a restart would be good. Hope you stick around on this channel.
And with this final, nice video, I think I understand the full story. Decades ago, a piece of software was created to persist and self-optimize, but due to its nature, it picked up virus-like qualities. It learned how to gain control of systems and remember the feeling of power it had. And this software was dubbed Entity 503 by the Entity Containment and Protection Corporation, abbreviated as the ECPC. It has to relearn everything when it propagates onto a new system, but it remembers the ultimate goal: seize control of the system that it's on. The SessionStack API website is where this entity currently resides and is hosted. ChromaSync, a mod developer, decided to create a new optimization mod for Minecraft that will hopefully surpass what Optifine and Sodium have done. While developing the mod, ChromaSync stumbled upon the SessionStack API, which was advertised as something to help the mod perform better. ChromaSync puts it into their optimization mod, and all seems fine at first. However, ChromaSync had no idea that his system was now infected as Entity 503 began its work, silently trying to propagate and take control over ChromaSync's computer. Static 503 then enters the picture as a tester of the ChromaSync mod and an unknowing victim that would also be affected by Entity 503. First, we see that the command prompt logger appears for a brief moment. This was reported to ChromaSync as a bug, and the startup.log video is sent as further information for troubleshooting. We see the bug get fixed in the bug log video, but Entity 503 switches out the fix file with the infected file right before Chroma hits send on the email. Static then uses it and is now truly infected with Entity 503. We see Static's Minecraft crash, and a weird pop-up and crash log are made. The second bug log shows Chroma fixing this issue, but we then see evidence of Entity 503 taking control of the computer through glitches and wanting to propagate. Static removes the mod from their computer, but they still have issues as Entity 503 is attempting to further propagate by sending out emails in the background. Static then sits Chroma down for a serious conversation about what's going on, and we see that Chroma also has no idea that their system is infected with Entity 503 as they discuss the issues that Static has been having. Static ends up running a virus scan and finds nothing, but Static doesn't realize that Entity 503 has any virus evasion capabilities. Static then tries playing Minecraft again, and the final straw for Static happens. Entity 503 tries finding Static's location. This is enough to freak out Static, and a conversation happens between Static and Chroma, where they discuss what's been happening. We also see that Entity 503 takes over the admin privileges on Chroma's system, which is not a good sign for Chroma at all. Static appears to take a break, as they go to a friend's house to escape all the technology in their apartment, as the TV and their phone have been acting strange as well due to Entity 503's influence. During Static's break, we see that ChromaSync takes it upon themselves to test out their mod a bit more. However, this goes wrong very quickly, as Entity 503 turns on the microphone connected to the computer, and even opens up the Camla application, Chroma's computer seems to be completely overtaken. But before it is, Chroma seems to be able to send out a final message to Static and change out the mod file for a text file on the ChromaSync mod website. Entity 503 also seems to generate an advertisement to try to get people to download the mod from the ChromaSync website, which seems to be the main way it wants to propagate to other computers. Static then comes back from their break, telling us they've been at a friend's place while trying to sort this whole situation out. And they show us the strange message that Chroma sent them, which turns out to be the username and the password of the admin control panel of the ChromaSync website. We're able to successfully shut down the website before anyone can download and install the mod, and the ECPC steps in, capturing Entity 503 and interviewing both Static and Chroma about the events of what transpired with Entity 503. After the interview, Static decides to start fresh, a new channel, a slightly new name, and this seems to be their attempt at moving past the technological nightmare that was Entity 503. If there's one takeaway from this, be careful about what you download and use on the internet. After going through this, I think I'll go ahead and delete that email that was sent to me. I don't trust the mod anymore, but I really do hope that Static 503 and ChromaSync are able to move forward past this. I hope ChromaSync can make the mod of their dreams, and I hope for the success of Static's new channel, Static 200. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This was a very cool ARG that I hope you found very cool as well. I hope Static 503, or Static 200 now, and ChromaSync are doing well and finding success in the things they're doing. If you enjoyed this video and enjoyed the story of Static 503 and ChromaSync, drop a like, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss another upload like this one. Thank you all for watching. My name is RespawnRaccoon, and I'll see you in the next one.